Welcome to my poster titled The Biological Reprogramming and the Fountain of Youth. I was really moved when I saw the final scene in the last episode of The Mandalorian on the Disney Channel, where the impossible became possible. A pretty big moment for a Star Wars fan like myself, and it came with an ethical debate. People began to question the ethics of bringing back people or actors who were not alive or now very old back to the silver screen in a youthful, believable form. So you can imagine the ethical questions regarding the possibility of bringing people back to a youthful age in real life. That would be a huge ethical conundrum, something to take a look at. With this, I want to tell you a recent story. Scientists rejuvenated the skin of a 53-year-old woman to that of a 23-year-old in this groundbreaking experiment done in the dish. This study was published just a few weeks ago. A variety of measures, including epigenetic clocks and transcriptome readouts, were used to confirm that the skin cells had indeed become younger by 3 decades. So it was the development of these epigenetic clocks that provide predictable a predictable readout of how old a particular set of cells or tissues are in relationship to their true biological age. Indeed, there is an amazing amount of computational analysis needed to read the methylation status of the different tissues and cell types. This work was accomplished by Steve Horowitz of UCLA and an army of approximately 140 principal investigators. Those scientists generated 10,000 methylation arrays, each providing up to 37,000 cytosines and highly conserved stretches of DNA from over 59 tissue types derived from 128 mammalian species. From these experiments, scientists were able to create epigenetic clocks that have been successfully developed for several different species. So it's difficult to ignore the possibility that a shared mechanism underlies an aging process across the animal kingdom. So this slide illustrates some of the 128 species of mammals used in the study. So the amazing transformation that took place in these skin cells originated from the work of Shinya Yamanaka, who received the Nobel Prize in 2012 for the discovery that mature cells can be reprogrammed to become young and pluripotent, or in simpler terms, turning an old established cells into very young, naive cells. So, and now what looks like to be one of the most important and exciting new scientific endeavors is the announcement of the global biotech company Altos Labs. Dr. Yamanaka will serve as the senior scientific advisor of Altos Labs that will consist of 3 institutes. The director for the San Diego Institute will be Juan Carlos Esparza, who was a professor of the Salk Institute in La Jolla. Wolf Reck will be directing the Cambridge Institute of Science for Altos Labs in the UK. He was the director of the Barnum Institute in Cambridge before his move to Altos Labs, which will be August of this year. And Peter Walter will be the director of the Bay Area Institute. He is a distinguished professor in the Department of Biochemistry and Biophysics at UCSF and Howard Hughes Medical Institutes. So other notable scientists joining Los Altos Laboratories will be Dr. Steve Horvath, and he'll be joining the San Diego Institute. And I've mentioned him earlier in this talk, and he will be using his epigenetic clocks to identify novel anti-aging interventions. In addition, Dr. Jennifer Dowdrow, who will be joining the board of directors for the Altos Laboratories, she's a biochemist and the Nobel Prize winning co-inventor of CRISPR-Cas9, which will be a critical tool used in the research at Los Altos Labs in regards to editing the human genome, not only at the sequence level, but also at the epigenetic level as well. If you'd like to learn a little bit about that, you can look in my handout, and there are some links there that can provide you with some tutoring around this area of epigenetic reprogramming and editing. So a potential pharma-like problem that comes with these mega scale startups like Altos Labs could be that they put too much money in too few hands, and in doing so, reduce innovative diversity. And currently, Altos Labs is now funded at the level of $3 billion, which is amazing. So an example of this could be the possibility of overlooking the contribution of other scientists, such as John Gurdon, who received the Nobel Prize with Shinya Yamanaka for his work in cloning the first frog. So his work included the cloning of the first animal back in 1962, which was followed by the cloning of several species, including Dolly the sheep. This leads us back to the amazing reprogramming capability of the female egg, and that John Gurdon pointed out in his work. It could be that there are conserved biochemical pathways across several species that could support the idea that age reversal is possible from those secrets in the female egg. And this is a point of research I hope that either Altos Labs or another institute will take on uh, to investigate this wonderful opportunity and possibility.